It's
Like,
Friday.
comment, and subscribe.
It's Friday.
Like,
So
comment,
welcome
and
back
subscribe.
to the multiple sclerosis
Like,
channel.
comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Hey guys, Dr. Ben here at Fit Well Centers. I love talking about MS reversal, multiple sclerosis. It's an autoimmune condition. It affects the nerves in the spinal cord, in the brain, and it's the telltale sign is on your MRI, you get plaques, you get this plaquing, and then ultimately people get weakness, their leg can stumble, they get foot drop. It can affect it to the point where they have to be in a wheelchair, their legs really start degenerating, and they have almost no muscle left. And this is a very, very common problem in the United States and around the world. But understanding the why is the crucial part, and how people can actually reverse their MS. A lot of people go, oh, that's BS. You can't reverse MS. And I go, well, actually, that's actually incorrect. You can reverse MS. I don't know if you can, but I know that it can be done. And how do I know that? Well, it all started for me looking at my mom. When I was back in high school, she collapsed at one of my football games. They didn't know what was going on, so they ended up going down that whole neurology route and figured out it was MS. And she was having this autoimmune condition attack her nervous system to the point where she had to go on disability. She was a school teacher, got Teacher of the Year, did amazing, and she crashed and had to start over basically with getting a cane and then going down into a wheelchair, and was really on this downward decline that we didn't know where it was going to end and if it was going to be what she was going to die from. And so fortunately, even before there was a thing called functional medicine, she found a doctor that was working on the nutritional side, on the supplement side, on the brain side, doing all of these things to help her body stop attacking its own tissue, because that's what autoimmune is. And in the traditional autoimmune world now, they do immunosuppressants to try to squash down that immune system, but they're not fixing the why. It's like my book, Rebuild Your Brain, Stop the Damage, Start the Repair. Yes, you can start the repair and get rid of some of that inflammation and that autoimmune, but you've got to figure out why the body is doing it in the first place. And so that's why we look at blood sugar, adrenals, leaky gut, environmental toxins. We look at estrogenic events like going through menopause or having a baby. We look at leaky gut and food allergens and vitamin D and all these different things that are going to drive and push that autoimmune. And that's what my mom did, was work through her body, fix the why. And it's over 20 years ago, she gave away her wheelchair, gave away her cane. She's now 79 years old. She does grading boot camp, goes fishing with my kids, does all these things because she reversed the why. Not the MS. The MS went away on its own, but she fixed why the body was going through that. So if you're dealing with unknown issues, if you need support, click that link in the bio, schedule that discovery call, and we would love to talk you through this process.
Do you know that people with multiple sclerosis tend to be in their 20s or 30s, but teenagers can also be affected? What are the signs of multiple sclerosis? Numbness in your face, in your arms, and in your legs, weakness on one side of your body or in your legs, vision problems, blurred vision out of one eye, double vision, spinning sensation, bladder urgency, you gotta run to the bathroom, overwhelming fatigue, and even depression. Know the signs. It's important to get diagnosed as soon as possible because treatment is available.
Here's what your eyes show about your health. If you ever see a brown ring forming on your cornea, this is called a Kaiser-Fleischer ring and is a buildup of copper in a condition called Wilson's disease. This is not to be confused with a white ring that builds up on the cornea, which we refer to as corneal arcus, which is normal in older age, but if you're under the age of 40, may be a sign of high cholesterol. You could save a baby's life by identifying a white-colored pupil like this, which we call leukocoria, because it could be a sign of a serious eye cancer called retinoblastoma. Bulging eyes like this, especially with white showing above the cornea, is a common sign of problems with your thyroid. And if the black part of your pupil ever starts to look white, gray, or even yellow, then this is a sign of a cataract, which we commonly see with age but can be due to diseases like diabetes, medications, and even trauma.
MS, or multiple sclerosis, is described as a demyelinating disease, which means it's attacking this white stuff that I'm pointing to with the probe here. Now, this white stuff is called white matter, and white matter surrounds the neurons of the brain, making them work faster and more efficiently. So what's actually causing this white matter to become inflamed and destroyed is still somewhat up for debate. We used to say it was an autoimmune disease, meaning your own immune system attacks it, but more modern research is suggesting there might be more, or a lot more, to it. But either way, when you destroy this white matter, that can create a huge variety of symptoms, and that's why those with MS can have nearly every neurological symptom.
Well, I told you guys I was going to show you what it looks like when your brain eats itself, and here you go. Good morning, everybody. If you saw my post yesterday, today is a very big day. I am going to see, in the past 2 years, how much my brain has eaten itself. The disease attacks my central nervous system, so they are going to scan my brain, my neck, and my spine and see the difference compared to my scan 2 years ago. For good luck, we have to get a twin turbo S650 cold start, and we'll head to the doctor. And cold start. I would rather be doing anything else on planet Earth than this. I hate needles, I hate doctors, I hate MRIs, and obviously I hate bad news. Multiple Sclerosis Research Center of Atlanta. There's my mom. Had about a 45-minute MRI, now we wait for the doctor to come in and read it. They also had to get some labs done, which is my least favorite part. Well, I told you guys I was going to show you what it looks like when your brain eats itself, and here you go. The two white highlights right here, those are holes in my brain. There's no need to be worried about that. This is good news. You see, 2 years ago, this is what the scan looked like. Very, very bright circles, and this is what it looks like now. There are no new holes, and they are very faint. You're always going to be able to see them, but they're saying that they are healing and scarring over. Let me move on to my spinal cord again, before and after. They said this spot had healed and shrunk so much that you wouldn't even be able to see it unless you were using a microscope. Which means my medication is working. My disease has not progressed at all in the last 2 years. I do have to go in every 6 months from now on to get blood work just to make sure my liver's good on the medication, but I don't have to get another scan for another 2 years.
Hey everybody, so in my last video, a few of you in the comments section came and introduced yourselves and told me a little bit about how you've been dealing with your multiple sclerosis. So the point to this TikTok is already working for me because I really just want to connect with others who really do understand what exactly you're going through, because people can understand to a certain degree, but if you're not living with multiple sclerosis, then you don't really know. Anyways, so also in the comments, a few of you had asked what my initial symptoms were that kind of made me realize that something was wrong. So I will talk about that now, and then in a next video, I will go through my whole diagnosis story. So the first initial thing that happened is that I lost feeling in my right leg. I had a really hot shower. It was weird. And when I got out, you know that feeling when your foot falls asleep or your hand or something and it tingles? That was happening through my whole right leg. And I just brushed it off. Okay, whatever. Then I was blow drying my hair, again, super weird, and I leaned up against like the drawer, which was obviously metal, cold, and it like felt like I was like shocked with a burn feeling. So that was super weird too. After about a couple of days of having this problem with my leg, I was starting to get really concerned. I had gone to a walk-in where, you know, they were ruling out stroke and different things like that, and I needed an MRI. And so this was all happening kind of like on the Sunday, Monday. Come the Friday, Saturday, I have lost all feeling in my leg. It's now risen up to my torso, and I was having trouble with my left leg, like the muscle was feeling really weak. So from Friday to Sunday, I had an emergency MRI and was admitted to St. Michael's in Toronto. So those were my first symptoms. Both my legs kind of up to my torso, tingling, numbing feeling, which alerted me. So then after I was in the hospital for a day or two, I lost complete use of my left leg. I couldn't lift it, couldn't move my toes, couldn't stand on it, walk on it. So that was like my final symptom that I had right before I was diagnosed. I hope this video wasn't too long and talked about what some of you were asking. And again, I will do my whole diagnosis story in a next video. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all soon.
If you guessed multiple sclerosis, well then you are correct. MS is a chronic autoimmune disorder that affects the CNS. Symptoms include fatigue, numbness, tingling, weakness, cognitive impairment, and problems with vision, balance, and coordination. Now, it's important to note that symptoms of MS can come and go and may worsen during periods of stress, fatigue, and heat exposure. Now, there is no specific test that can diagnose MS, but things can help, like a medical history, physical exam, MRI, lumbar puncture, evoked potential test, and blood tests can rule out other similar neurological conditions. There's no cure for multiple sclerosis, but there are a few treatment options that are available to help manage symptoms and slow progression. These treatments include symptomatic therapies, PT, OT, and disease-modifying therapies, which reduce inflammation and prevent damage of the nerves, and also suppress the immune system. Now, I saw some of you guys guessing lupus. Sure, both can affect the CNS, but lupus is more likely to cause joint pain and skin rashes and fever, not numbness, vision problems, and really not difficulty coordination.
Hey, I got some breaking medical news for you. Turns out we might actually know what causes multiple sclerosis. If you don't know, multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune condition where your own body attacks your nerves. When it attacks your nerves, it actually destroys these cells right here called your myelin sheath, which are very important for nerve conduction. Now, the thing is, we didn't know for the longest time why people get multiple sclerosis until recently, when researchers from Harvard published this paper where they looked at multiple sclerosis and they found that there was a high prevalence of the Epstein-Barr virus, aka EBV. EBV is a relatively common virus that can lead to a condition called mono. Researchers found that an infection with EBV increased your risk of developing MS by 32%. Now, this is a huge breakthrough in the world of medicine and epidemiology, and it's going to lead to a lot more breakthroughs to come.
What is something you're most proud of that people don't know about?
Pushing through while having an invisible disability. So I have multiple sclerosis. It can manifest in different ways, but for me, it makes me cognitively really fuzzy. Some days I can't use my hands. Sometimes it's hard to walk. So even something as simple as like standing in a shower can be hard. But I think that every day I get up and keep pushing through and tell myself that I can do it. That's probably the thing I'm most proud of in this world is keep fighting, keep walking, keep going.
What is something you wish people knew about these invisible disabilities?
It's just people understanding that everybody's going through something, right? I'm 6'2", 235. You wouldn't look at me and necessarily think, oh, this guy can't use his hands in the morning and he has to stick his hands in hot water every day just to take away the numbness so that he can write on his laptop and do his job. But again, everybody's going through something. So I think if we lead with more grace and more honesty about how we're suffering, how we're navigating things, we will all respect each other and treat each other better. Whether it's multiple sclerosis, or you lost your job, or you found out somebody in your family's sick, or you just frankly are just coming out of college and don't know what you're gonna do. People have been there before and people are there right now. You're not by yourself. And I think knowing that it's not just you, it's not just comforting, but it's like a way to move forward.
The best you can be. Love your family, love your friends, spread love, not violence, not this virus. As always, peace.
Comment and subscribe. Like, comment and subscribe. Like, comment and subscribe.